25 mules east of Warrensburg.
Well, it is a
And
word.
the guy rode back said he thought he could make it on 2 good ones.
Yeah, I've heard as a crow flies, but never asked the mules.
Met Miles, but he came out mules and went right through spell check.
It's 6 o'clock. We're going to call the meeting to order. Decided to be roll call.
Turkey,
Here.
Graves,
Here.
Nail,
Here.
Sneed,
Here.
Walker,
Here.
West.
Here. Say the pledge of allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moment of silence, if they like. Make a motion to approve the agenda. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Everyone's had a chance to review the previous minutes. If there are no additions or corrections, they'll stand approved as presented. We have no visitors and there was no public comments sent in, so we move on to officers' report, chief's report.
All right, our report starts on page 3. So we've been having bi-weekly meetings with our owner's representative, architect, and civil engineer. And they're ongoing every Thursday at 2 o'clock. Most of them are in person. There have been 1 or 2 now that we've done virtually, but most of the time everybody comes here and we sit down around the table across the street and talk about things. And then I got some stuff in there to show you guys in my report. If you have some concepts or almost that as well. The call volume for December was Pettis County was 9,396, Windsor was 1,120, with a total combined call volume of 10,516 calls. That was for the 24. No major equipment, nothing major on buildings and grounds. Regular preventive maintenance scheduled and performed on the trucks. The gear strike with Unit 6, it's at the body shop still. It's still waiting parts. It's still not back yet. One of our ambulances was towed to Ford after overheating. Ended up being a radiator hose. I didn't have any further information whenever I wrote out my report. Vehicle mileage for December is below. You can see our transit, the one transit for sure is getting used a lot. We put 8,000 miles on it in a month's time, so that's pretty good. Staffing update, 3 part-time EMTs have been hired. We're starting our orientation in January this month. One of our EMTs, Melissa Merrill, she obtained her paramedic license. She's currently in orientation. Paramedic FTO Svetlana Shevchenko and FTO paramedic Matthew Seehey were promoted to the position of captain after Steve and Bobby retired. And then we're going to be holding a promotional process for the open FTO positions that were left vacated. Nothing on new unit update. Our 1 truck that's being remounted is in Columbia. They're still working on it. I haven't heard much out of them. I'm hoping here in the next month or 2 we should have it back. I think they're getting closer. And then for y'all's consideration, the UCAPIC system, which is basically a vending machine system for our medical supplies. We put it in the 25 budget. It basically what it'll do is we can put our supplies in these vending machines in the lockers. You have to badge in or put your pin in to get supplies out, and it's going to start helping us track our supply usage, where it's going. And then the biggest thing that it's going to help with is expiration dates on medications and those other supplies that do eventually expire, so we can help rotate those in, hopefully reducing waste. We don't have a tremendous amount of waste, but it's enough that it's good to make
Whose
sure.
responsibility is rotating the inventory at the present time?
It is our supply manager, her name's Sharice.
And so this will relieve that person of that duty.
No, because I mean, she'll still be responsible for ordering supplies. She'll still be responsible for making sure they get restocked, the machines get restocked. She'll still be responsible for making sure that we rotate these. We still have to rotate the expiration dates, but we'll be able to scan barcodes. It'll all be computerized, so it'll keep her from having to travel to Windsor, travel to Station 2 to make sure that it all should line up to where she can look at her computer and she can know what needs to be moved around so that they can.
So there is some efficiency to be gained for the cost.
Yep.
And did we have a shrinkage problem before of inventory?
Not automatic.
Okay.
We have a problem with inventory disappearing. One issue that we occasionally run into is overstocking of the ambulances. So once it gets to the truck, somebody will add 5 additional bags of IV fluid to the truck, and that is not that huge of a deal, but if it stays unchecked, which it doesn't, but if it stays unchecked, then it can become costly over time. But this will allow us to see who took what and how much they took and where it went, and that way we can actually track it back to a person should that happen.
Eliminating growing stale in the truck. Okay.
What's the average expiration date generally?
Oh, it depends. Sometimes it's up to 1.5 years. Sometimes it's as short as 6 months. I mean, it's just going to depend on the medications and how we can get them, when we can get them, and shortages and everything else. I've seen it go 1.5 years. I've seen it, like I said, 6 months. So, it is basically trying to make sure you're getting the stuff that's expiring as soon as it's out in front. So that stuff's being used first.
Yeah.
Does it make any difference which supplier we use? How much of the shelf life is gone when they move it to us?
No, not necessarily, because it's all the same brands that we're getting. It's just, the suppliers really only dictate cost. Because Hospria, for example, that would make epinephrine. It's going to be Hospria epinephrine if we buy it from Boundtree, or if we buy it from Lipocyst.
So it doesn't sit over here 6 months and here 1 month before they send it to us? Not
generally that I know of. A lot of time, and that stuff moves so fast that,
Okay.
And if it expires, we toss it.
Yeah.
So, we do hang on to stuff for 1 year after expiration. And so the reason we do that is because Dr. Gus and the FDA has allowed us, if we get into a shortage issue where we're back ordered and we can't get, like I said, epinephrine, there's a clause where we can use it for up to 1 year after expiration. So we'll hang on to it just in case we get into a situation. And then once it reaches that year of being expired, we get rid of it.
So it's more of the best if used by date.
Do we ever get requests from other ambulance districts for inventory, loan them inventory because they run short?
We haven't. I know of it happening in the past.
I imagine the Los Angeles area is borrowing stuff.
I know when we've had shortages of things like saline or epinephrine or stuff like that, you can't do it with narcotics, but with those types of drugs, we can do exchanges and stuff like that to try to help people out should that have to happen. I know pre-Pettis County Ambulance, we work with Johnson County because there was an epi shortage to get epinephrine from Minnesota because we didn't have any here.
I know when I was a kid and my mom was baking and needed 2 eggs or a cup of sugar, it was off to Bloma's or Trudy's. Mm-hmm. Does Bothwell ever need something, or do we ever deal with them as a? We actually have been dealing with them. After the hurricanes out on the East Coast, one of the factories that makes normal saline got destroyed. So we've had it's kind of almost been a crisis in getting IV fluids. So we've been working with Bothwell because basically what the FDA and FEMA did was said that hospitals had first choice on IV fluids, and we just get what we get, which wasn't anything. So we worked with Bothwell, and we were able to get fluids from them, so we could kind of stay afloat on our end. I'm just glad we have that relationship with them.
But along with the vending machines comes the software, that we can use not only for tracking of the supplies, but then unit checks, fleet maintenance, narcotic tracking, and basically it takes us in the direction of being paperless, which is a goal. So what that'll do is we'll implement this software, and what our hope is once implemented, and once it's all tested and it's all working the way it's supposed to, papers go away. So we can audit narcotics, we can audit supplies, we can audit just about everything. So that, and with the way we're getting this through Boundtree, since that's where we purchase a fair portion of our medical supplies, our spend will help cover the yearly charge for the software. So, but it is costly to start up. And so that's why I wanted to bring it to y'all's attention tonight. So that way there wasn't any sticker shock whenever it kind of came through. So the startup for Operative IQ, which is the software, is $22,000. And then the actual vending machines themselves, the right piece of paper here, for all the stations is $96,809. Ouch. Now, mind you, that's all 3 stations. That's one time, and we're done. We'll have to buy them for station 3 when that time comes. But this, and honestly, depending on how we move things around, we might not have to buy that much for station 3. We'll just have to see how that plays out and get closer to that. But this will get us what we need here and now for what we currently have.
Is it necessary or just desirable to have 3 stations to dispense, as opposed to right now? Do they not dispense out of here?
No. Well,
We don't send stuff from when the shipment doesn't come in here.
it starts here.
All right, that's my whole point. So they couldn't come here and get it out of the machine here, as opposed to not getting it out of the machine here now is what they're doing.
Well, they don't get it out of the machine here now.
I know, but they still come here to get it out of the box then. No,
No.
it is shipped to
It
them.
gets shipped to the stations and stocked in their cabinets at the stations.
And so then they keep a physical inventory, and they keep a physical inventory, and you do, and then somebody has to combine that information.
Right.
Okay, I'm starting to figure out how this distribution system works. Thank you.
The other thing that Flo sprung on me that it was in the budget as well, but I did not put it in my report because we didn't talk about it when I was putting my report together, is we've been looking at improving our camera systems on our ambulance. The ones we've been getting work some of the time, but you have to do a whole lot, and Ryan can speak to it a whole lot better than I can. You have to do a lot of different things just to pull the video off the truck. These cameras will automatically load to a server in the cloud that you can access without having to physically go to the ambulance, pull the information off the ambulance, then bring it to a computer. And so it's helpful in the fact that it gives us access right now. And if that ambulance is in Windsor or out of station 2, or if they were involved in an accident in Kansas City, it gives us that information immediately. We can pull it before something happens to it.
Can you watch it live from your desk in real time?
I believe with you.
How long have we had those other cameras?
So the ones in the older trucks, well, they're as old as what the trucks are. We've got several that don't work, that need replaced already. So basically what it boils down to, we're getting 8 camera systems for eight of the ambulances. This is going to help us get the trucks, part of the trucks up and running that we need to have up and running, and then the other trucks that don't get it will come through as we get them remounted, or should we have to replace them sooner, you know, we'll have to come back and talk to you guys about it then, but
So help me understand, how does the camera system fail? Do you wear it out, or is it abused, or how does it fail?
About 2 weeks ago, we had one catch on fire.
That's not good.
Several, we had hard drive crashes, we've had failures of internal hardware inside the DVRs themselves. Cameras will go out, shorts, that various kind of things. We had a stockpile of extra ones we've been replacing. We've now deleted that stockpile. So we planned on replacing the whole.
Are there different levels of quality that we should maybe consider upgrading, or?
Or the current systems are 720 resolution. All except for the front camera, which is an 80 camera. These, I believe, are 80 all the way around. I think the front camera will be 2K, camera off the top of my head. It's been a long time since I've been in the preservation for it. So,
well, and what we're looking at here, I can't speak to the brand of cameras that we've been getting with our ambulances, because I've never heard of them until we started getting these ambulances. But ProVision is the brand that we chose because they, beyond having a better price than the rest of them, you know, they also do patrol cars that do body cams.
That's what I was gonna ask, what the fire and police use.
So we believe, and of course they believe, obviously, that they'll be better suited for what we're using them for versus what we've been using, which I don't know where they came up with the brand or the cameras that we have, but they've not done well for us, whether it be brand new or 5, 6, 7 years old.
there's no way to monitor if there's been an issue. This
Right.
would give us the ability to monitor if there has an issue.
So, the only question is, how long does it, does the footage stay in the cloud, or do we have to, we'll start with that question.
In a lot of settings.
Okay.
How much you record audio, how many cameras recording audio, very simple. We have a threshold of the amount of data we can store.
That was my next question.
So
Okay.
it's kind of dependent on how we set up everything. Typically, you'd probably be at least a month.
Okay.
Worth of recording.
And then that's because we're using like our own, cloud system versus one that goes through this company.
We're
or-
doing the internal, just on the TV. It just all writes itself as it's record data. You get about 3 weeks currently on current devices. We'll get about a month.
Historically, have we had to retrieve data, and in those instances, how many lapse of time was necessary?
I've also 3 weeks out before, barely made it. Time that we learned that we needed to pull some video off something. And by the time you get unit in your position and process everything, it takes a couple days to process.
So in the incidents of potential lawsuit or loss of property or accident, can those episodes be stored longer term and not deleted?
You just have to flag it.
So we just have to do our due diligence there.
Yeah, this isn't gonna flag it.
It's not an all or nothing thing. What all are you recording?
So we record forward facing, dash cam basically. One of the things I wanted to do was cab facing as well. And then we record the patient compartment, from both angles. So from the rear, so it'll be facing the patient, and then from behind the patient. Those will be the only ones that we record. The rest of them will just be like the backup camera is just gonna be the backup camera, and the side view camera is just the side view cameras.
They have the same basis, same cameras, system.
Yeah.
So you need us to approve
I don't know that you need to approve it necessarily. I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean, you guys approved it in the budget already. I just want to make you guys aware of it and have conversations, because I mean, there are gonna be big sticker things that come
Well,
through.
we need to buy what we need, but we really ought to need what we buy.
Right. And I think both these things are things that are gonna be needed, and I think they're things that are gonna help us. You know, especially with our inventory and as we continue to grow and get bigger. I mean, it's gonna be important that we try to keep an eye on all that, and in that way, if we start having a shrinkage problem, we catch it, you know. Whereas now I don't believe that's a thing, but you know, you start having more stations, more people, you know, it's something you gotta keep an eye on.
Is what we budgeted cover it, or is it, okay,
On page 6 is the call volume for 2024. Broke out for you guys. Then on page 7 is the stuff I'm really excited about. And that's the work we've been doing on the station. So page 7 is going to give you a layout of the station right now, and we're within budget. We're looking at 3 bays, double stacked, so we would have enough room to put 6 ambulances in there should we ever need to. But I mean, it just gives us room to shelter extra ambulances and stuff like that, which is right now a high commodity. We built it, or we spec'd it for 6 bedrooms. That way we could expand. If it needs to have 3 crews run out of it, it can. And by the time it gets built, it may have to. And the rest of it is pretty commonplace. We have decon, laundry, and outside. It's not outside, obviously, but a bathroom off the bay for showers and stuff like that. So you're not, if you get into something that you don't want to take into the station, you don't have to carry it inside. You have the maintenance room with the IT tower and the radios. 2 bathrooms with showers on the inside. Kitchen, day room, report writing area, exercise room, and then meds and storage. Now since this came out, we did a little bit more work to it. So this isn't exact, but it's not far off. There were some things that, like if you look in the day room where you see the table and everything, you see those 3 little chairs and the desk right there. That was for report writing. And we felt like maybe it'd be better to have it kind of walled off and separated, so that way there's not distractions and stuff like that when you're trying to do your reports. Right. So we kind of modified that a little bit, shrunk the 2 other rooms a little bit to make room for that. On page 8, it gives you kind of an idea of lighting and how that's all going to look. Put ceiling fans in each bedroom, ceiling fan in the day room, and then there'll be cup lights throughout the interior of the building, and then regular LED lights out in the bay with 2 bigger fans out there to move air out as well. Page 9 is a redesign. One thing we did change, this shows all glass doors. The all glass doors got taken off. We're going to do just a row of glass on the doors for some natural light to come into the bay, and then match the rest of the door to kind of go with the rest of the building. We did stone a portion of the way up, and then hardy board the rest of the way.
Will the door color be contrasting with the siding, or will it be the same as the siding?
It'll probably contrast. I mean, we can discuss it.
These rooms, are any of them gonna be reinforced for tornadoes?
Yes, I'm sorry, I should have pointed that out. Back on page 7, the bathroom where you see the little dashed line around it, that's a reinforced safe room.
It's a red print right there. Is that? No, it's not.
So the red print's like a little mezzanine area for storage up above.
So it's those 3 rooms then,
It'll just be that one right there in the middle.
just the one in the middle.
Yep, where the bathroom shower house right there will be the safe room.
So that mechanical storage is on top of that.
Yeah.
The laundry, water.
Yep.
Okay.
But that's what we're coming up with, and as we change things and move forward, I'll put these in here so you guys can keep an eye on it. I'm pretty sure that there's a plan for them to actually talk to you guys one of the upcoming meetings, but I was excited and I'm sure you will.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
But yeah, I'm pretty happy with what we've come up with so far. You know, we've got it down to size to where it fits in what we want our budget to be, and
That's all you have to say.
16th or Winchester?
it'll fit 16th Street.
Oh, yeah, entrance on 6th.
So the hope is what we talked about initially. We'll see how it all plays out in the end. But what I want to do, or what I would like to do, is have you come into, like, the ambulance would come into the back of the station off of Winchester, and then pull into the bay, and then they would exit out onto 16th Street. But if you guys don't have any questions, that's in my report.
Are there any other questions? If not, we'll move on to approve the payment for the outstanding bills.
There's one correction. So what's in the packet, there's actually, the one Katie handed out to you has, there's a hand heavy bill that was added. And then the Boundtree should have been $39,34.71 is the total. So the total bills is $462,342.67. So there's a lot there because we didn't do the last meeting in December, and in January we have all of the insurance, the Mike Keith insurance, which is our property casualty, liability, umbrella, cyber, bonds. I missed one. Umbrella, missed one umbrella. So, and that's always a big cost right at the beginning of the year. Quite a few on here. You guys have any questions on those? I emailed the details to you the other day. We were in the middle of converting over to the QuickBooks Online. So that's part of it was supposed to be done on Monday. Of course, there was a hiccup, so it didn't get done until Thursday afternoon. So that's what happens on conversions. There's always a hiccup, it seems like. So
I move that we approve payment.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We have no unfinished business. Move on to new business, certified candidates for election. Take a motion to certify.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Are there any announcements? Now then, take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Did Mr. Hammer get up the witness sign out there and take down the?
I think he was talking about part of that. He was talking about needing to do that.
Just go wait till the ground froze so you can dig the hole.
That's
so far, yes.
So another-
I don't think we